They've come to bargain their freedom. They hold keys, and to give these keys, they need to consent to give these keys, because it is not only about material possessions, but it is also about rituals they have performed to lock this planet and the human race of terror.
You are listening to Exopolitics Today with Dr. Michael Salla, your source for the uncensored truth regarding the human, extraterrestrial, global, and political agenda. Click the like button and subscribe to this channel. And now, here's Dr. Michael Salla.
Part 2. Cabal leaders go to Antarctica to surrender to extraterrestrials and Earth Alliance. In his initial December 14 communication with Elena Danaan, Thor Han Eredyon mentioned that Oona, a member of the Intergalactic Confederation, also known as the Guardians or Seeders, had more details of the Antarctica meetings, their implications, and the black magic used by the global elite. Elena had previously met with Oona, who facilitated her travel to meet with the Guardians and later to meet with the Council of Nine in a region of space between Jupiter and its main moon, Ganymede. The Guardians are the seeders of human-looking races in many galaxies and had arrived to watch humanity's graduation into the galactic community. Elena said that she felt Oona's desire to relay a message and had to lie down and channel a communication. What follows is the message Oona relayed to Elena.
They've come to bargain their freedom. They hold keys, and to give these keys, they need to consent to give these keys, because it is not only about material possessions, but it is also about rituals they have performed to lock this planet and the human race of terror into very dark rituals. These need to be uncast, and they have only them the key to uncast these dark circles traced around every each society, human beings. We are meeting them to allow them to uncast these dark rituals, to set free the minds and the protection they set on the monetary institutions they created. A dark, ancient institution, those of the name, the number 33. Those of the lower numbers, the reverse triangles, and all those who worshipped the soul harvester, those who worked to separate the soul from the human beings and bodies, are about to leave this planet. Parliamentation deals. You must not believe that we agree to their acts. We displeased all that they have done. Antarctica is the meeting place because the portal can take them. when the moment is here. They will give us the keys, unlock their rituals, and cast the dark circles, the 9 levels of darkness will be collapsed as one and dispersed into dust. It is over. The dust will be scattered to the 4 winds of human consciousness, liberated. We summon them when the greater agreements were made between your planet and the Galactic Federation of Nataru. From this moment, we flew to your star system, and now these encounters with the dark ones of the human race of Terra will set free all the dark bindings of magic. They are done. They will benefit of a prison planet that will give them all they want, but they will never leave. A world far in another galaxy, which you do not know the name, yet they will be forgotten and content. The best way to end a conflict. I, from the door, the Guardians, found her once. Leave this message. It is over for the rulership of the dark. We have been waiting and working at the same time with the Galactic Federation of Nataru and the Extraterrestres Aliança to free this planet. We, in our outposts in the higher mountains of your world, have prepared at purging the dark. This process started 200 of your years ago, and now it is touching the last stage. Darkness is unleashed. It is because the humans of Terra need to see it and fight it. The rulership of the dark on this planet is over. Those who worked for millenniums at separating soul from the human of Terra's bodies will go. No more soul harvestings.
There is much to unpack in this first part of Oona's message. She describes the elites arriving in Antarctica to bargain their freedom. This is because they still hold the means to destroy or wreak havoc over much of the Earth. They are using this power to bargain their getaway from the planet through the Antarctica portal, which is now in the hands of the Earth Alliance. In order to gain their freedom, passage through the Antarctica portal to a new world in another galaxy, they have to hand over all the keys and codes of the black magic used to subjugate humanity and the Earth. As to what black magic keys and codes were used, we get an idea of this from Oona's reference to a, quote, dark ancient institution, those of the name the number 33, end quote. This almost certainly refers to Scottish Rite Freemasonry, which uses 33 levels of initiation. While most Freemasons perform genuine philanthropic works as they ascend the different degrees of their order, their top leaders at the 32nd and 33rd degrees levels have long been suspected to worship Lucifer and to practice black magic. Albert Pike led the Scottish Rite Freemasons in the USA from 1859 to 1891 and wrote the most authoritative book of the time for the order, Morals and Dogma. In it, he wrote, quote, Lucifer, the light bearer, Lucifer, the son of the morning, is it he who bears the light with its splendours, intolerable and blinds feeble, sensual or selfish souls? Doubt it not. End quote. Many subsequent occult researchers have referenced Pike's book as evidence of the Luciferian element in Freemasonry. When Buzz Aldrin landed on the moon in 1969, he took with him the flag of the Supreme Council of the Scottish Rite Southern Jurisdiction of the USA. In Richard Hoagland and Mike Barra's book, Dark Mission, they describe how the flag was part of a Freemason ceremony that Aldrin performed on the moon. Most importantly, the book describes how magical ceremonies were intertwined throughout the space industry and how advanced technologies were developed and used with hidden occult symbols embedded within them. Oona's message reveals that Freemason magical ceremonies, codes and keys used to ascend through the 33 degrees hierarchy were also used in their occult control system for the planet. All these hidden keys and codes needed to be revealed and handed over to the Earth Alliance so that global elites' black magic control over the planet would come to an end. Next, Oona's repeated references to ending soul harvesting shows that this has been a vital tool used to control our planet by the global elite. Soul harvesting is the practice of separating a soul from the physical body and using it for multiple purposes by negative extraterrestrials or black magicians. In the early 1990s, Alex Collier was among the first to reveal that soul harvesting was routinely happening when he described how a soul could be transferred from a body and be replaced by another. Quote, what the negatives do, and they can do this during an abduction or near-death experience, is the following. During an abduction, a man, for instance, will be taken aboard a ship. His body will be brought into a coma and to the point of death, wherein the soul exits. They will then use technology to replace the original soul with another soul. They then return the individual's body back. They can do this process in 4 seconds. The new individual has a completely new agenda. If you are a negatively oriented ET, in order to manipulate third density, you have to be in third density. End quote. It's surprising to learn this soul transfer technology only takes 4 seconds to work and has been used to control third density. That is to say, global elites in charge of the planet. As a result of agreements reached between the US government and grey extraterrestrials in the mid-1950s, which I first wrote about in 2003, it is certain that this was among the first technologies given to the Majestic 12 group. At the time, MJ12 was led by the 33rd degree Freemason Alan Dulles, CIA director from 1953 to 1961, who would almost certainly have integrated such technologies into black magic ceremonies to control the planet. It's now easier to understand that Dulles' role in the Kennedy assassination, which is explained in the book Kennedy's Last Stand, published in 2013, was timed and executed as part of a magical ritual to control the planet. As to what happened to the original soul of the victim of soul harvesting, Alex Collier described how the Andromeda Council would often intercept grey ships carrying the souls of many thousands of children and adults. that had been extracted from their bodies and placed in special boxes for transportation. In an interview with UFO researcher Val Valerian, Alex described how the life force of the captured souls would then be exploited. Quote, Alex Collier, they, Andromedans, have found more than 1,000 human children that had been placed in cryogenic stasis, and over 1 million of these little boxes that contain the life forces of souls from Earth. Val, captured human souls? Alex Collier, souls. Val, and what do they do with these souls? Alex Collier, they feed off the energy radiated by the souls. What they are doing, Val, is that they are taking the life force and they are somehow siphoning it off a little at a time and feeding it to the hybrids in order to keep them alive, trying to keep them alive and create a soul in them. End quote. Soul harvesting was among the most terrible of the many dark practices of the global elite. It comprised both technological and black magic means to split off a soul from the body and to utilize its energy for dark purposes for indefinite periods. Oona's reference to the soul harvester that was worshipped by Freemasons and the global elite appears to be a reference to Lucifer, who sits at the apex of the 9 levels of darkness she described. The rest of Oona's message now follows.
Yes, they are meeting us. And a delegation from the Galactic Federation of Nataru, Zenate, 2 beings, Council of 5, 1 being, intergalactic, founder, races, 5, Terran Alliance, 10, the military forces of Terra, of world, 20 soldiers. They will not be taken straight away, because they will need to uncast the rituals, rearrange all the basis of their society to avoid a collapse that will be chaotic. We do not wish for the humans of Terra a monetary collapse. We wish a soft transition, because chaos you have had enough. They are commanded to recalibrate the monetary systems to the new system the Earth Alliance is bringing. Quantum, abstract, no more metal, no more paper, at least for a while, for a transition. So I will say my last words. Soon, events will speed up on your planet. It will be a terrible storm. But the more you will be to wake up, the faster this storm will pass. A lot will lose their lives by choice in the vaccine, but this was ruled out by the Dark Ones. Free will was the trap. Now it is stopping. Soon you will see it. Antarctica is the meeting of the old world with the people from other star systems to give the keys to the Earth Alliance and the Federation and leave. As I said, they will not leave this week. They will be commanded to change the system, and they will disappear forever. 2000 23. All of this will be memory. We will celebrate together. Pass this message. You're a friend. Thor Han will not be in trouble. This man with white hair you speak to, he will pass the message. Give him my friendship. I connected with him. He will remember. Oona has spoken.
Oona's reference to outposts in the higher mountains of your world appears to refer to the Himalayas, where a French contactee says he spent a year in 1969 with the Intergalactic Confederation in a seeding experiment for a planet in another galaxy. This raises an intriguing question. Could this be connected to the prison planet that the elite are being sent to from the Antarctica portal in order to liberate the Earth from their evil influence? The scenario described by Oona appears to be a reprise of the situation described in the Book of Genesis and the Book of Enoch, where the 200 fallen angels arrived on Earth with superior knowledge and technologies. The Book of Enoch describes the arrival of 200 fallen angels in the area of Mount Hermon, which borders modern-day Lebanon and Syria. The fallen angels began interbreeding or genetically modifying the local inhabitants. Quote, "And it came to pass, when the sons of men had increased, that in those days there were born to them fair and beautiful daughters. And the angels, the sons of heaven, saw them and desired them. And they said to one another, Come, let us choose for ourselves wives from the children of men, and let us beget for ourselves children. And they were, in all, 200, and they came down on Ardis, which is the summit of Mount Hermon. And they called the mountain Hermon, because on it they swore and bound one another with curses." End quote. It seems that the global elite will become the fallen angels of an Eden in another galaxy when they arrive through the Antarctica Intergalactic Stargate, taking with them their advanced knowledge and whatever technologies they are permitted to carry. According to Oona, the global elite will be forgotten and content, the best way to end a conflict. For the global elite attending the Antarctica meetings, this must be a very tempting offer. Surrender all their power over Earth to start again as fallen angels in a new Eden. Oona described the composition of the extraterrestrial delegation that met the global elite at Antarctica as being drawn from the Galactic Federation, Ashtar Command, Council of Five, Intergalactic Confederation, and the Earth Alliance. Before the elites would be sent to the prison planet in another galaxy, they need to first hand over all the black magic keys and codes. Regarding the new monetary system that has been prepared, Oona referred to a quantum abstract rather than paper or metals. This appears to be a reference to the quantum financial system, QFS, described in Part 1, which is linked to a quantum supercomputer that will operate through Elon Musk's SpaceX and US Space Command in a highly complex and integrated global financial system. The QFS appears to have been developed with extraterrestrial assistance, as the following explanation implies. Quote, "The quantum financial system, QFS, is a megalithic financial structure that has been given to mankind by the heavens. I call it a megalith because it stands alone as the most advanced financial system that anyone could imagine. This technology has no peer on the Earth at the present time. It is a magnificent system designed to take on the magnitude of accounting needed to balance every financial transaction in the world in real time. The QFS is housed in the Mega Quantum Consciousness, QC, often called a computer. This quantum consciousness is divine consciousness that is being made available for us to use in this third dimension. The tools it brings are necessary for us to usher in the golden age of mankind. The QFS is a ledger accounting system made up of individual accounts. The QFS is only one of many applications already housed in the QC ready to be implemented." End quote. The QFS has been heavily promoted by many popular internet sources such as Simon Parkes with over 650,000 YouTube followers and his worldwide Connecting Consciousness community. Oona gives an important timetable for when all these changes will happen. She said 2023, all of this will be a memory. We will celebrate together. That tells us that all these major events, as a result of the global elites surrendering and leaving through the Antarctica portal, will happen in 2022. While it will take a few months yet to deal with the remaining minions of the Cabal, who are desperately trying to hold on to power by imposing unpopular mandatory vaccine policies that will ultimately bring about their downfall. Finally, Oona is telling us that the different galactic organizations that help the Earth Alliance in liberating the planet will reveal themselves, and our graduation into the galactic community will be complete. I wish to thank Elena Danaan for permission to post Oona's message and to use her graphic illustration of Oona. This has been Dr. Michael Sala with Exopolitics Today. Please remember to like and subscribe to my Exopolitics Today podcast, available on your favourite platforms as well as YouTube and Rumble.